The battle over Rindis Prime had been nothing but slaughter. The Cathar Dominion swept through human fleets like a scythe through grass. Every transmission from Earth Command carried the same grim tone: fall back, regroup, pray you live to fight again. And then something unexpected happened. Admiral Varish of the Dominion, known across the galaxy as the Butcher of 9 Systems, spared the last human colony ship. Instead of vaporizing the vessel, his fleet pivoted away, leaving the terrified civilians adrift in stunned silence. No one knew why. Some said it was strategy. Others said it was pity. The survivors returned to Earth carrying tales of mercy from an enemy who had shown none before. Humanity, bruised and bleeding, rebuilt in the shadows of that single act. But humans have long memories. Years later, the Dominion returned, this time expecting an easy victory. Their fleets entered Sol space, sensors tuned to track fleeing civilians. Instead, they found something else. A wall of human warships, bristling with weapons older civilizations swore were impossible to build so quickly. Admiral Varish himself stood on the bridge of his flagship as the human commander's voice cut across every channel. You spared us once, now we return the courtesy with terms. The Dominion fleet did not fire. Not yet. Negotiations were tense. Varish had grown used to kneeling worlds, not standing ones. But these humans looked at him as equals, and perhaps something more dangerous. The human commander, Captain Sloan, leaned forward in the hololink. You gave us life when you could have taken it. That's not something we forget. But mercy is a debt, Admiral. One we intend to repay in our own way. Varish's eyes narrowed. Repay? By meeting us in battle? Sloane's voice was calm. No. By giving you a choice. Withdraw from the Corward War, or we fight until one of us is gone. That's the repayment. You get the chance to walk away. For the first time in centuries, Varish realized he was speaking to a people who did not bluff. Humanity's ships may have been fewer, but their weapons glowed with the deadly certainty of species who had learned from extinction's shadow. The Dominion retreated, not out of fear, but out of respect. In the years to come, alien historians would call it the Second Mercy. The day humanity turned an enemy's single act of compassion into a legend of balance, violence tempered by choice. The retreat of the Cathar Dominion was not the end, it was the beginning of something neither side fully understood. Admiral Varish's flagship slid into the dark folds of hyperspace, leaving Sol's outer rim behind. In the silence of his command chamber, the alien warlord replayed the human commander's words in his mind. Mercy is a debt, one we intend to repay. It was not a threat, it was a vow. Over the next decade, the Dominion's spies reported strange things about humanity. They were not expanding recklessly into the stars like other young species. Instead, they focused inward, building, innovating, preparing. Whole fleets were seen training in asteroid belts, far from trade lanes. New space stations bristled with weapons that didn't match any known technology. The galaxy called them paranoid. Varish called them dangerous. Still, part of him wondered if that day over Rindis Prime had planted something in both their peoples. The call for aid the day came when the Cathar were not the predators. A new threat emerged from the galactic rim, a species known as the Drej, ancient and merciless, consuming worlds for raw biomass. The Dominion fought and lost. When Drej warships reached the edge of Cathar space, Varish made the decision that burned his pride. He sent a message to Earth. It was a single phrase: the debt remains. Will you answer? The reply came not in words, but in the arrival of 3 human fleets. They slipped from hyperspace in perfect formation, their hulls gleaming with the black and silver markings of Earth's navy. At their head was Captain Sloan, older now, but with the same unshakable calm in her eyes. Varish stood on the observation deck of his battered flagship as human ships moved into position beside his own. We remember, Sloan said, her voice cutting through the war room chatter. Let's finish this together. The battle that followed was unlike anything the galaxy had seen. Human jungle warfare tactics, adapted for space, cut through Drej formations with surgical precision. Dominion dreadnoughts took the brunt of enemy fire, while human frigates hunted the Drej command vessels like predators stalking prey. In 48 hours the Drej fleet was gone. After the victory, Varish approached Sloane in the quiet of the war's aftermath. "You've saved my people," he said. "The debt is paid." But Sloane shook her head. "No, Admiral. We don't keep score like that. You gave us life when we were weakest. We gave you strength when you needed it most. That's not a balance, it's a bond." From that day forward, the Cathar Dominion and humanity stood as uneasy allies, bound not by treaties but by a shared truth. Mercy once given to humans would never return empty. And in the dark halls of alien history, it was said that the only thing more dangerous than making humans your enemy was making them your friend.